I'll just move my head up into the logo.
It's a good start to episode
Hmm.
63 of Slurp Toast, a podcast. Hey, we're back. I looked at my notes. It's been like a month and a half since we did one, but there were things. Things we'll talk about tonight. Things we'll talk about at length, or at length even. Let's
Hmm.
start with you. How's things on your end?
Oh, mm. So we had foundation work done at the house, and they
I think we
broke
talked about that.
broke the pipe that when the sump pump runs, it kicks water out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
They broke it inside the wall.
Oh shit!
So we got like some ridiculous 4.5, 5 inches of rain on Sunday. And it all just came pouring into the basement. So
Oh no!
we are upstairs because the basement is being professionally dried, and carpet's all torn up, and it smells like wet towels everywhere. So that's been fun, a
Oh
lot of fun.
Jesus! So that's like 3 days of remediation.
Uh, yeah, we got most of it up ourselves on Sunday. Then it
You had to rip,
was
rip all the carpet. Is it the whole basement carpeted?
now just about a third.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something, right?
Exactly. So it was one of those things where yeah, it just sucked. We called the company that did the foundation repair, and they were very apologetic, and they would take care of it. In the meantime, I called the home warranty people because I thought the sump pump was broken. They sent a plumber out, and he recommended a water um, recovery company because the guy came out and he's like, "Oh yeah," he goes, "We're gonna have to cut the wall out to here and cut the wall out up to here and pull all the insulation out and replace the insulation." And
Wow.
the company that did it, they were like, "Well, we're going to take care of it." And I'm like, "Okay, how?" It was, "Well, we got a guy." I go, "Who's your guys?" He goes, "Well, some of our crews. They'll come and they'll do the demo." I'm like, "Will they take a water meter and make sure they get all the affected stuff out, or were they just going to cut the wall where they need to get access to the pipe?" Um, um, I go, "There's water in the wall, man. I mean, that shit's going to make my family sick, so it's got to go." And it went back and forth a little bit, and I think I almost made him cry because I was just like, "I'm not
Because it's
using
what
it."
you do.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things like, "Well, who's your contractor?" Uh, Dakota. I'm like, "Dakota, what? Does he have a company?" He's just a guy we use. I go, "So it's a handyman. You're going to send a handyman out to fix my house?" I go, "I've got wet, moldy insulation in the walls." I go, "Here's the deal." I go, "I'm couldn't wait on you." I started making phone calls. So I've got a guy coming out. He's actually standing right here. Let me put him on speakerphone. Say, "Hello, Jose." "Hello." I go, "Are you going to do this, that, and the other thing?" The guy's like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "Well, then I'm not going to use your guy. I'm sorry. I can't use your guy." I go, "I'll file a claim with the insurance company, but they're just going to subrogate it back at you. So we should work together."
Right?
Mhm.
Nice use of subrogation, too, by the way.
Well, I work in that world now.
so has it been like leaking water ever since the work was done and it just got noticed because of the extreme
No,
amount of
we didn't have
rain?
it a lot. It was the extreme amount of rain.
Wow.
So yeah, so we didn't really, I mean, have any meaningful rainfall since June, middle of June, early
Okay.
June. We'd have a couple of ones here or there, but I mean, you'd go
That's
a
the
week.
wet stuff that falls out of the sky, right?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't
Which,
do that
yeah,
in Texas anymore, I don't think.
no, it's just suspended in the air. Um, but yeah, so we didn't get a lot until recently, and then we got a big rain on Wednesday night, and I noticed like a little wet spot.
Hmm.
But you kind of think, "Oh, I must have, dropped an ice cube or something."
Right, right.
And then you think, "Well, I don't bring ice cubes down here. What the hell?" So you kind of wipe it up, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and then, and then man, uh, and then it was just like everything was wet. The carpet was wet, and
Oh,
oh yeah, nothing smells as good as wet carpet. Uh, and then that backing, the carpet pad, that's basically made of sponge.
it's essentially a sponge. Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, the first piece I picked up to like carry out of the house
Weighed 40 pounds.
until I got to like across the basement floor, which was considerably lighter, but my shirt was soaked. I threw it over my shoulder and it like just
You transferred the wet.
transferred the wet. Yeah. So that was the end of that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about water extraction. Um, it's gonna be such a mess. It's just be
Sadly,
such a
I
mess.
have some experience with that as well. On the commercial side, the building we moved the store into after they sold the big building was old and it leaked every time it rained. Thankfully, we
Mm.
sold absorbent underpads, which
Mm.
we could throw on the floor. And our carpet was just glued to the cement, so we just had to sop it up. That was all we could do.
Mhm.
But yeah, God, that sucks, man. So they can take out how many walls do they have to take out?
Uh, it's not too bad because it's all the walls that are up against the foundation.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, there's probably I don't know, I don't know, a couple feet. They're from a corner, be like a couple feet one way and a couple feet the other way, and then it looks like they're going to have to go. I don't know, maybe 2 feet off the floor, kind of around a corner. So I'm just not sure how I feel about or whether I trust Dakota to put everything back is my
Well,
problem.
if he's the guy of the guys who screwed it up in the first place, he's a sub guy.
Yeah. So I told him, I go, I'm gonna. And the guy, he was pretty upset because he's like, "How much is this going to cost?" I'm like, 6 grand. He goes, "Oh God." I go, "Dude, it's like a third of my basement." And I go, "We haven't even talked about how much it's going to cost to replace the carpet." He goes, "I got to talk to my bosses." I go, "Great. Tell them that your crew broke the pipe, never came back as promised, and this is the result. Somebody just learned a very expensive lesson today."
Right? Wow. Ugh. Move to your right
And
a
I
little
had some
bit.
hard teachers, so that I the lesson is the lesson. I'm sorry, you don't get a break, you don't get extra credit, you don't get partial credit. Your answer
Yeah.
is wrong, 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 wrong,
So
motherfucker.
you Joe Deppa'd them?
Oh, Joe Deppin, Mary Kern, is a professor I had in college.
Okay.
It was art history. So this is going to really sound like elitist. This is what it is like. So I'm taking her for art history class, and I one of the things they do is they flash a work of art up on the screen, and you have to decide what period it's from. Okay. So,
Okay.
like, you might look at a painting, you've never seen it before, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, we've got those little tiny brush strokes. It's an outdoor scene. It's France, and, it's impressionistic. And, that's, you kind of go through this thing, right?
Narrow it down, right?
Mhm. So I misascribed uh, an Assyrian sculpture to the Babylonians, which is where this it gets sounds like super elitist. Is like, really, you're you, you you misdescribed a piece of artwork to the Assyrians and not the Babylonians. Yeah, or yeah, my mistake. The differences are not great. It's not like you look at like this one piece of turd and you'd be like, oh, that's Babylonian because all they made were turds, and that's Assyrian because oh my God, it's resplendent. Um, but yeah, they're very similar, and it's just like really subtle differences in the iconography and the decoration. And God, this is sounding so just obtuse. Just
I'm just gonna keep playing sound effects because I think it's funny.
well, that, and yeah, I'm sitting here complaining. I misdescribed this thing to the wrong. I mean, they're both dead cultures. Who the fuck cares, right?
My
But
favorite thing is she made the leap from like a broken sump pump to art history. I'm just mesmerized by how we got here, but keep going.
so anyway, because we're talking about Mary Kern, the teacher, right?
Right.
So, like, and seriously, 70% of the stuff, 80% of the things that count for one, because they were like, one preceded the other, and they just stole all the art. Just moved in, took over. No, I did that. Well, here, let me just chisel a little extra, whatever, the curly cues onto the beard. Um, that's what's weird. As I go to museums with Kristen and you walk past the sculpture, like, it's Assyrian. She goes, "How do you know?" I go, "Just check me." She goes, "It's Assyrian. How did you know?" I go, "I will never forget. I got the answer wrong." But
Wrong.
Mary Kern, even though I like listed all the attributes, would not give me partial credit because
You gave her the wrong answer.
Assyrian is not Babylonian. And it's like,
Are
yeah,
you
they're both
sure?
yeah, exactly. Are you sure? They're precursors to the Persians. It really doesn't fucking matter.
Wow.
The Macedonians, Thessalonians, and all those other Onians, those guys,
Corinthians. What?
Corinthians,
They made the best leather.
they did make the best fine Corinthian
The
leather.
finest of the leathers.
Paul used to brag about it in his letters.
That's why he wrote more than one to them.
That's why he wrote it once.
He's
Yeah,
ordering more leather.
Much, he wrote back for more. Yeah. my dearest Corinthians, I totally have to get a new couch.
I met this cat named Ricardo. He digs your leather.
He digs your leather. Yeah, I showed it to my boy Jay, even though we're not contemporaries. But dude loved it. I'd like to get 11 more.
Can I get that fireworks deal? Buy one, get 11 free.
Buy one, get 11 couches free. Dear Corinthians, finest leathersmiths and early Christians of the ancient world.
Oh, that was a quality juke. Yeah.
I'm if I would dig around, I've got a Masonic Bible and a family Bible and my confirmation Bible. I can check this story out. Is what I'm saying. It's legit. It's totally legit.
Of course it is. I've been confirmed by the Presbyterians. I seem to recall that being in the book.
It's that one sermon that you like hear on Easter about Paul and the leather couches. And the Easter bunny.
It was, Jesus turned a love seat into couches, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And I said, "Lo, let there be ottomans," and all the Turks showed up. What?
That's why we worship the sectional today.
That's absolutely. No home, no Midwestern Bible Belt home is complete without a leather section made of fine Corinthian leather and vibrating and cup holders. Those are the Pauline letters that we're not sure of the authenticity. He was Jewish originally, so he was not splurging for extras. You'd have to throw those in.
He was a hard driver on the road to Damascus.
He was a very hard driver on the road to Damascus. Then the scales fell from my eyes, and I saw couches.
Thou shalt not pay retail.
Thou shalt not pay retail. Yeah, everybody thinks it's fishes and loaves. It's not. It's fishes and couches. So, fishes and love seats. Yeah, I read something the other day, since we're down this road.
Go for it.
No, that there's like MAGAs who are complaining to their pastors that, like, when they talk about the Sermon of the Mount, it's like, what are you talking all these liberal talking points?
Yes, I know. I've seen that. They've already taken away your Bud Light, your NASCAR. You're gonna let them take away your Jesus.
What are you going to be left with? Guns and truck nuts. Somebody said to me, because whenever I see truck nuts, I always wonder, where's the asshole? And it's like, it's behind the wheel, really.
Oh, nicely done, sir. That was a good one.
Thank you.
While he worked there.
Oh, God, yeah. We were talking.
Go ahead. I can't wait to see where this goes next. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, we talked about Steve Martin being transformational, right?
Hmm.
Well, I showed up in the comments for one of those classes because of that conversation. It got mentioned by name. Everybody at our company's like, Steve, you're so quiet. You don't speak. And I'm like, yeah. And I think I explained this last time. Speaking up first is a sign of weakness. It's ego. You want to get your comment out there and everybody agree with it so you can feel better about yourself. Um, Trainer didn't like that.
Shocking.
Shocking. But I made the comments twice. Oh, Steve and I were talking about Steve Martin, and this and this. And I threw out Les Paul in the comments, and that fired people up. It's like, whoa,
Really?
yeah.
How?
Feel like
Oh,
Steve just
because you talk
mentioned.
about guitars?
Uh huh. I was like, give me time. I can derail everything.
After we had, I don't remember if I sent you this or not, but after we had the conversation in San Diego about Steve Martin and his relevance to transformational stand-up comedy, I had a thought of, because we started lining out some different like branches, but I think if you could go back and just start doing like a comedy family tree, it would be fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Like a coaching tree.
Yeah, and find out where you land is sort of Bill Parcells.
Yeah. Here are your Carlinists. Here are your priorists.
you, your shit rights, because there are a few in the right tree for sure.
But see, I always thought Stephen Wright, he like he fell out of like the Henny Youngman old school comedian, Wah 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 wah. Take my wife, please. Wah wah wah. I
Okay,
a job interview.
it's
Yes,
just a
you
more
already
absurdist approach.
a
Okay, I
more
can see that.
absurdist. And I see
And then his Hedberg.
yeah, who's totally like Stephen Wright too.
Yeah.
The little hippie trippy Stephen Wright. Gilbert Gottfried is in that sort of same Catskill-esque
Yeah.
comedy thing.
And you know who else is, now that we're saying this, and it's surprising now that I'm thinking about it, but Anthony Jeselnik is in that tree.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's set up
He's
punchline,
set up
set up
punchline, set
punchline.
punchline.
It's dark, but it's set up punchline every time.
Yes, that would be taking the worst elements of Stephen Wright, the worst elements of Mitch Hedberg, and deciding to take all that and go dark with it.
And throw in some Kinnison. Just a dash of Kinnison
Just a
for
dash.
flavor.
Yeah, I think that was funny because I think the guy in one of our conversations mentioned Kennison, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing being loud and proud and misogynistic." Wah! Ah! Ah!
That tree, I mean, it would be an interesting, mental exercise, if nothing else.
Because I wonder how much of it is just like, because like I listened to no, crap, I can't remember his name, Mike Birbiglia.
Verbiglia. Hmm.
And he kind of comes out of like weirdly a Spalding Gray tradition. It's more
Yeah,
of a long story. It's a
it's
long
long
form
form.
monologue. Yeah, it's not really a bit. It's just like an essay he forgot to write down.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm with you there. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it was funny because I was driving back from Dallas on Saturday or Sunday, and I'm like, I flashed back to us, riffing on Basketball Jones a few episodes ago, and
Basketball Jones.
I listened to about 80% of the Cheech and Chong catalog, and I don't know if I've ever not listened to it all the way through, or just it's been 1,000 years since I listened to it. They were so reliant on sound effects and ambient noise to get their points across. I found that fascinating.
So maybe more of a studio, more of a Steely Dan.
Well, the influence is there as well because they were all under it. So, no, but I mean it's performative more than it is stand up, right? It's sketches.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
it's not stand up. It's sketch comedy that's recorded. And I think that's why it translated so well into the movies, because they
Into
just
the
picked their
movies.
best bits, put them in a very loose narrative structure, and sent it to theaters.
Yes. Yes. We'll go. Yeah, absolutely. No, I like that one.
So
Uh,
I don't know, just for what it's
no,
worth.
but see, then who else falls into like that kind of genre or whatever you'd call it, vein.
um, Bob Newhart.
There we go. I was waiting for you to say that because I was already there. It's like, let's see if he goes Newhart because this
Newhart to Cheech and did we just draw a
Newhart
line
to Cheech
from
and
Newhart
Chong.
to Cheech and Chong?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I said, Dave, are you there? Are you there, Dave?
Dave's not here, man.
Could you imagine that routine done with like the Bob Newhart on the phone? I'm sorry, who? Dave? No, Dave's not here. No, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah.
Seriously, it's the same branch of the tree.
Okay, we got to get this to Bob Newhart and see how he feels.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
It's all a bad dream.
It's a bad
you.
trip, man.
Well, man. Oh.
No, could you imagine him doing it like in the Cheech and Chong thing? He wakes up next to Suzanne Plachette. Whoa, I just had a bad trip, man.
Or he wakes up and it's not him, it's Tommy Chong next to Suzanne Plachette.
Whoa,
Wow, man.
whoa. I had this dream I was working in a photo mat. And all these kids kept coming by, man. It was weird. Did I put something in your ass? Okay, that took
Nothing to see with that topic. We haven't done one of these since Comic-Con, so we probably ought to talk about our Comic-Con trip, such as it was a month ago.
Exactly.
So, it was crowded as fuck, is what it was.
It was, and I kind of thought maybe they oversold it, or I did not realize that many people stood in line for Hall H.
Yeah, I think that was. I mean, I had thought about there might be more people on the floor because of the lack of Hollywood presence.
Or the lack of panels and everything
But
else.
I didn't think, I'm with you. I don't think I realized that many people stood in that line on a daily basis for H&20. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
insane.
crazy. Because it was like Thursday was like a Saturday. It was so full.
Right, and preview night. I was going to preview night and thinking, this is nuts. I mean,
because that's usually like in and out, no problems.
Yeah, it's light. You just kind of
get the lay of the land.
Lay of the land. If you're going to go shop or anything, you've got time to do it. Yeah. Yeah, you've got time to do it, and it's unhurried, it's unrushed, it's very casual, but man, I was in there and I was like, this is crazy, 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 crazy busy. And then you were, Thursday, you saw it. It was just fucking terrible.
It was, I mean, it was untenable that morning. I got claustrophobic. I don't normally do that there. And it was just a crush. But it was interesting because after we left to get some lunch and came back, it had thinned out considerably. So a lot of people went in,
did their stuff,
what they wanted to buy, and then left. Because they had no other reason to be there.
Yeah. I'm not standing in line. I got my t-shirt. So
I don't get to see the cast of The Walking Dead, The City of the Dead, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I had that autograph time for the cast of whatever, Monkey Jumpers, whatever.
I would pay to see Monkey Jumpers.
Wouldn't you? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what the plot is, but the title alone would draw you in.
Oh, for sure.
You'd just show like a monkey swinging on a vine over a fire, right? Monkey Jumpers. You don't know. Are they fighting fires? Did they start fires? Are they smoke jumpers? What's going on? What are monkey jumpers? And all it is like 2 hours of a baboon just bouncing around. And you keep waiting for something.
It's just a GIF.
It's just one long repeating GIF. But there's props in the room. monkey jumpers. You keep waiting for him to like pick up the
Coming soon to
prop.
Fox.
Kind of to fuck. That'd be fun. You put him in a room like Jonathan Winters with just a bunch of props.
And he writes the next Carrot Top act.
He writes the next character. And it's just monkeys and props, and that's the whole monkey jumpers.
And for some
guy
reason,
with a
Nick Cannon
headset.
is outside.
The kids, yeah. There's a monkey in a van with a headset. And there's a guy in a store, and the monkey's just chittering away at him. And the guy's in there. Monkey jumpers. You've been monkey jumped. And then they let the monkeys loose in the place of business, and they shit on everything, and they tear it all up.
They rip people's faces off, and that's how we get to Planet of the Apes.
That's right. It's a precursor. It's very raw. It's very improv. It's loose. Single camera, you know. And then all of a sudden there's a monkey sitting in front of like a window blind, just screech, screech.
And Rainn Wilson's there going, I don't like the new staff.
That's it. It's just things with monkeys. That's all Monkey Jumpers is.
It's a clip show about monkeys.
It's a monkey clip show. It's like Jackass, but with monkeys.
There it is.
There it is.
That's the pitch.
That's the kind of idea for a show. You like Jackass? Imagine it with monkeys.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Yeah. So we got like a bunch of monkeys. They're wearing underwear, right? And they're just standing
Or not.
there.
If you don't want them to, they don't have to.
Yeah. And then the other monkey like steps on the thing and it cracks him in the nuts.
We can blur all this out in post. It'll be great.
Oh my God.
No monkey balls. Just implied monkey balls.
That's right. We've even got this little monkey Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, I'm going here. It's Johnny Poxville.
There we go.
Thank you.
I'm
kind of proud for that one right off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's it. That's the show. Monkey Jumpers. It's Jackass with monkeys. That's the GIF. that intro thing. It's just the monkey doing this. You just split screen. He comes in from the side. It's just real frenetic. I don't know what I saw, but I loved it.
Order it to series, boys. Make it happen.
Here's
They'll work for scale.
Yeah. Scale shit, they don't know. They're monkeys.
Pay them in bananas and hookers.
And coos, yeah. Oh yeah, my poor daughter. You know, she worked in our little back room,
right,
doing stuff for OSHA things and all this, and cleaning up PowerPoints. And I mean, Frank and I took her to lunch one day, and Frank's telling the story about how this pallet of sod appeared behind his dad's shop, right? And his dad's shop appeared. Yeah, his dad's shop is not in a great neighborhood, but people were stealing the sod. And Frank's dad was like, "Hey, you want some sod? I can get you sod." So Frank and I now are doing, "Hey, you know, you want sod? I got sod. You gonna what? Seed your lawn? What the fuck? Are you poor?" You know? But we're doing dueling off the truck sod salesman. Yeah, buddy. I got fescue. So I mean,
you
we
don't
go
want
on.
any of that St. Augustine crap.
No, what the hell? No, get that shit out of here. Get that Kentucky rye the fuck out of here. You know. So yeah,
You
we
plan
did
to
this.
spend all your time weeding that shit.
Weeding that shit. Yeah. You gonna seed your lawn? What are you, fucking poor?
That's funny.
So we did that, and I mean, we were doing it in the car coming back from lunch, and then we got into the office, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty offensive, and we've got to stop. So Babe doesn't really respond to that. One woman that we used to work for, Frank's dad knows her and knows her boyfriend, and so tells a story about hey, she still got hemorrhoids. Why? She does it up the butt, right? So Frank we're back there. Frank said something. He goes, yeah, you remember Teresa? I was like, yep, she's still doing up the butt. My daughter goes, hey, I'm sitting right here. That gets a little bit of a rise out of her. Sod salesman gets a little bit of a rise out of her. Something I said about how, yeah, the first child is always premature. And the second one takes 9 months. First one coming any time. Somebody goes, why is that? Well, it takes time to break a uterus in. Didn't get a rise out of her. I go, hey, trebuchet, amigos. God, stop that. It's the first time I've ever seen it get mad. Frank is even like, wow, everything else he said all summer long, and that's what sets you off.
Well, that's the one she'd heard the most.
Might have been.
That's funny.
Oh.
So what else did we?
Well, we can talk about fun days.
No, we should.
Yeah,
because that was my first time I ever went.
What'd you think?
It was interesting. Were too many damn people in too small a space, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, they kept going for bigger and better, but it just kind of maxed out.
3,200 people in that tiered
if we
situation.
Were doing a concert on the lawn, it'd have been fine, but you're trying to do tables of 10.
Yeah, it was
crammed in there.
Yeah, I knew more about the people sitting behind me than I cared to. Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. But it was a cool experience. I'm glad I went. I would go again. Yeah. We got to see Gabriel Iglesias not do stand-up. Yeah. We got to see one of the Backstreet Boys kind of do a Backstreet Boys song.
I did like it when our section lost that particular round of yelling and started chanting "In sync, in sync."
That's quality passive aggressive right there. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think is why our section won.
Pasted it right there.
Yeah.
And then of course the pièce de résistance.
Did you touch Will's hand?
I did. I got the Feldman on me. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Corey Feldman. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. We were talking about
that was a sales pavilion sighting, and what the hell was he doing there?
Wearing the cast-offs from the Michael Jackson collection.
Yeah, the gold lame suit.
It's 75, and you're wearing that monster thing with bones on it, or whatever the fuck those are, with the Kiss spike collars and shit. And then, of course, he fucks up the giveaway.
Well, he's Corey Feldman. What are you going to do?
Corey Feldman. Yeah, those are always the better celebrity sightings have been Mark Hamill.
That's quality.
One of the guys from Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
That was just weird. It wasn't Lars. It was
Jason.
Guitarist. Yeah, the guitarist with the curly
Kurt
Hammond. Kurt Hammond. Yeah, he was there. I was gonna say with the curly Weird Al hair. Danny Trejo.
I've met him. He's a cool cat.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been fun. Some TikToker, and I just made a joke, and it's like, somebody's got a crush. Somebody over at Funko Marketing has a crush on this chick. It's the only reason she gets her own pop and a shout out at Fun Days. We didn't do that for Mick Foley's daughter, and she's 100 times hotter than this bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Noelle.
Yes, we were in our section.
That apple felt way far from the top of the cage.
So in our section, the year of Deadpool was New Day and Holly Foley, or whatever her name is.
It's Noelle, I believe.
Noelle Foley, yes.
Hunter would know that for sure. We got to get him on.
Hunter would know that for him. So that was fun. I think that was also the year that they had like the Silk Dancer. And Kristen, who you met, turned to me. She goes, "Great. Now I have to explain to my children what a whore is."
You don't have to.
That's what I said. I was like, yeah.
What else? What were my other thoughts? The camp theme was interesting, but stretched a little thin. But I did enjoy like the grouping us as different houses. I'm surprised they couldn't pull off a Harry Potter theme with that setup, given the merchandising that they have. And they gave away a Harry Potter figure. It makes me think that maybe that was the original plan, and something fell through.
Hard to say, because they just I mean, to Mike's credit, who dreams up that shit,
Okay.
he's already got next year's theme in mind.
Okay.
Okay, he's that far kind of ahead. And he puts a lot of time and a lot of thought and a lot of energy into the whole skit thing and the characters and everything else. And then so so you had good time. That's good. And
I did.
we got a shit ton of
The
free
food
stuff.
sucked.
Friends of mine, they posted a picture of pizza. I was like, please, please, please tell me you had that delivered to your table. And they said, no, we had to go to the front gate and get it. But yes, we had it delivered to the event.
Note to self for
Order
next year.
pizza.
Yeah. Or bring your lunch.
Bring your lunch. Yeah. So that little taco shack we got beers at, supposedly good food, good burgers, some pizza places over there in
Couldn't
Seaside
be
Village.
any worse than what they presented as food.
Hey, some of those people got raw chicken on their sandwiches.
I'm not surprised.
I had that one bite. No,
For those
everybody
of you who
saw my
haven't
reaction of it. Was like, ha, 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 have mine too. No,
Yeah.
fuck you guys.
it was a quote unquote chicken sandwich that had like 2, maybe 3 slices of, and it was probably broiled chicken or something, and a couple of pieces of lettuce and a half a tomato, and that was it on white bread. It
On
was
white bread and no mayo or mustard in the bag. You know,
yeah, it was not. And then they had the chemically treated chocolate chip cookie, and I couldn't get that taste out of my mouth the rest of the night.
even with the whiskey pours I was doing.
Yeah, well, that did help, but it took a while.
Hector's over there telling me more. I was like, there's no pop in this.
So ultimately, we were Team Bear, and we won the whole schmear. Ooh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, yes. We won the little medallion, the Ted Lasso, and the I guess just we won Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that was it. And the little medallion.
And the medallions. And the compass that points
Doesn't work.
somewhere. Certainly not north.
It
3 people
points
at the
into
table. The
multiverse.
compasses are pointing in all different directions. These suck.
It's like that signpost. That signpost in MASH.
Pretty much. You just point it, and it'll point you to our dreams.
Yeah, point you to all the way home.
Guess
I
so.
gonna say something else, but I don't know what it was. Yeah, no, it was a good time. So, what was your favorite? Because I thought cosplay was down some this year.
Oh, I think
Was it just my
totally.
perspective?
Yeah, it's either. I think it was down. And to be fair, we weren't there on Saturday, which is
True.
usually the biggest day. But even Friday there wasn't much. And I don't know if that's just because there were so many other people there that you kind of got to a point where you're like, I got to get the fuck off at the floor. This is killing me.
Yeah, but even out in the wild, usually you see a fair amount of people
Yeah.
who can't get in dressed up, and that was definitely down.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
definitely
Well,
down.
and I think that they maybe come out for like hopefully I'm gonna hang out at the Hilton and see a celebrity. Look, Jeremy Renner running from the van. Woohoo!
And the cosplay of the year was. I mean,
I
well,
honestly
let's do this in 2 tiers. What was the most frequently seen cosplay?
I don't remember.
It was Ken and Barbie.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
the weekend
yeah.
the movie came out. Yep.
No Barbenheimer, no Oppenheimer though. I think I did see an Oppenheimer. There was like a guy in a long suit and a thing. Maybe it was The Question. Maybe he was
He had a face.
Dick Tracy. I don't know.
Well, if he was The Question, he would have confused Bill Sienkiewicz completely. I do take great comfort every year when we go and we walk by that one column about 2/3 of the way down the arena,
and Silent
Bob
is
is leaning against there nodding at everybody. It fills me with joy in the moment that I see him.
There's a little bit of
that's
constancy.
what that dude does for 4 days.
Let's just stand on that column
year.
every fucking year on that column. Boom, Silent Bob.
He walks in and goes to his column.
And that's it.
That's what he does. He's
Maybe
got a little fake
bathroom break.
cigarette.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't say a word.
4 days. Probably in telephone sales or something, and he's just glad not to talk for 4 days.
No more cold calls. I'm just gonna be Bob for a week. Fuck it.
Worst ways to spend your week.
Yeah. Okay, this is fun. I was looking for a particular hockey mascot pop,
Right.
right?
I remember that.
Sunday morning, I get up. I've got 2 hours to checkout time. I got nothing else to do. There was a booth that had one.
Oh,
When I
really? You
say
found
had
one?
one, nope. I found every other one, and I was looking at the guy. I'm like, seriously, no Boston Bruins? He goes, nah, there's one in there. Maybe. I brought three. I'm like, it's Sunday. I could have come every other day this week, and I never went in that booth because there was always a crush of people,
Where
except for
was
Sunday
it?
morning. It wasn't that far from the Funkoville town,
Ah,
which is slowly gentrifying that corner,
that
driving out those
side.
deadbeat artists.
It's like rent over there now.
Oh my god, that whole setup. I mean, it's great. You can kind of walk around it, and they did spread some of their lesser exclusives around, which I thought was nice because if you're into some of that other crap, like bitty pops, they're like this big, this big.
Are you gonna crush my head now?
Yeah, it is. It's I'm crushing your head. New kids on the. It's these little tiny things, and it's just stupid as shit. And I know there are people who love them and collect them. And so, oh, I got to get the limited edition Batman. No, you don't. There's no rules that say we have to get any of this.
There's a moment of clarity when you reach that point where you realize you don't have to have everything. That is so liberating and so freeing. And
It's right because it's like
so
you
many people
walk up
don't
to the
get there.
booth and you're like, don't need or want any of this stuff. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I left Comic-Con with the one pop I wanted.
Mhm.
Thank you for getting the question for me. The
Yes.
box that I got at Fun Days that I didn't sell, and
Yet.
a handful of pins.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's all I bought.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even buy a trade this year. I couldn't find anything that I hadn't read or didn't want or wanted, whatever. So yeah, the need not to have everything associated with something is so liberating.
It is because you just go in and now with this stuff in the basement, I'm looking at my collections and kind of going, yeah, your days are numbered, boys. All of you, you're gone. Here's the beauty. Like you sold Anakin for what, 450?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So actually that's with the damaged box. That was a great price because he's going for about 5 or 6 now. So
Okay.
I'm, and I'm like, no, you sold it with the damaged box. You did good. We did great selling the sodas that we sold because we sold them for a lot of money.
Yeah, I paid for my trip with 3 of the things I got at Fun Days.
And now those things sell for like 35 and $50 a piece.
What is
And
Technicolor Batman going for? Because I still have that one.
30. You'd be lucky to get 30.
Okay. Well, I got nothing in him, so.
Yeah, there you go. But some of those prices tanked. I sold that Tony the Tiger, and the next day he was down, $50, and the day after that he was down $100. So
Yeah. Well, that's why I made you sell it that first night. Because I knew you were at the top of the market.
Oh yeah. That's the first time I've ever
I made you.
Yeah.
Like I
I
could have
did-
made you do anything you didn't want to do.
Oh, I know. It's like when we're at dinner with Dakota and Eric. We're all sitting there at the pizza joint. Well, that's going for 500. That's going. All right, everybody. Good night.
Back to the hotels.
Go back to the hotels. Dakota sold fucking everything. And he was close to an Office Depot Max.
Uh-huh.
So he had boxes. He printed the labels, used their scales, and left them there because it's a United States Postal Service pickup thing.
So they were received.
Mm-hmm. And didn't have to go to FedEx and pay the bend over the barrel price.
I will say, if I go again, I might be far more mercenary and start listing shit at the table. If it's, I mean, seriously. I mean, if you're first to market, as we discovered with Tony the Tiger,
you can make a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, I mean,
So okay, so now let's talk about the Funko controversies that comes out of Fun
Oh,
Days.
please. You mentioned this to me and I want to know. Spill the tea, sis.
All right. So you may have heard some of the people going, "Hey, somebody just pulled a 100-piece this and sold it for
Yeah.
$1,000, right?" Um, so the metallic Captain Americas, like your trade
Right.
for Anakin was a great trade. My trade for Captain America turned out to be a better trade than I thought because somebody decided that there would be small count pieces in the box of fun at the event and the same pieces in the box that they shipped to people's homes, so that Captain America metallic that had a 250-piece sticker, if you opened your box and found it at your table,
Mhm.
and then somebody went home and got a 2,000-piece metallic Captain America.
Oh,
There
no.
was like 7 or 8 pieces that were like that. There was a Megatron, Captain America, I think one of the Merlins, um, and I mean, collectors lost their shit. And I'm sitting there going, well, my 500-piece cap just got a little bit pricier. Wait a year, sell it for $1,000. So yeah, so that just drove everybody ape shit.
That's a weird mistake for them to
That's a
make.
huge mistake. And so the makeup gift is you send it in and they either send you back the larger edition size, which I think I'd be really pissed, or a bonus item, and they were sending those like silver SpongeBob's, those 25th anniversary pieces. People were getting those as their second mystery gift. It
Okay.
was bad. It was bad.
Wow.
hmm So, so
Okay.
what do you got left from the box to sell?
Well, I haven't sold anything since I got home. I was
Okay.
finishing up my semester, and so that's probably later this week. I'm going to look and see. And I mean, like I said, I've covered the cost of the trip, so I need to pay you back, and I have the money put aside for that, the
Okay.
ticket, and then whatever else from here is gravy. So
Absolutely.
put it aside for next year's trip or something.
Yeah. Oh, you can definitely make a couple bucks off of that stuff.
What have I got left? I've got the Pinocchio, the Ted Lasso, the
See,
Yeti.
the Yeti is holding. You should still be able to get about $100 for the Yeti. Ted Lasso, I want to say he's maybe 100 and a half, 200.
I've got the Ron Weasley on the broom,
You ought to be able to get a couple hundred for that.
and
At least 100 and a half.
the S'mores monster.
That thing. My wife, I showed it to Kristen, and she was just like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, I go, Bruce called it nightmare fuel. It was kind of funny to see it. Like Will's pulling him out of the box, and I look at him like, "What the Jesus?" I pass it down. I look over at Kristen, and she's got this look on her face like somebody had just handed her a plate of cat poop. You could see it, read it on her face. It's just, what the fuck? I hear, oh my God, this is nightmare fuel. And Hector's just like, what the fuck?
Well, Hector was in the bag by that point.
Yes, he was.
And let's see, I've got the bear, the flocked bear.
The flock bear, you get about 75 for him.
And the ranger.
I think Ranger is getting about 30, 35 bucks for there.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got several $100 in if I put it out there, and I can go low because I don't.
Yeah,
I just want to move it. So that's probably a chore for into this week and next week. See what I can scratch up. So maybe I'll have a report on my final tally by the next podcast.
In your Fun Days flipping experience.
Seriously though, excuse me. If I were to go again, I might go totally mercenary and start listing shit at the table. Okay, fresh in my hand, just released.
Booyah. And then there's one group of people who are like, look at this guy. And then there's another group of people who are like, oh my God, that's so cool. I got to have it.
Exactly. And it's like that instinct. That's the one thing I took away from it is the instant gratification for those that aren't there. I mean, that's going to be the driving force behind the pricing. And if you can be, as with anything, first to market, you're going to, go out on top.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It would be an interesting experiment to do like live stream for the podcast, like selling that stuff instantly on
Facebook
in the moment. Seriously, think about it. All right, I just got this. I'm listing it.
Corey Feldman touched my hand. By the way, $7,500. It's got
Seriously,
Feldman sweat on it.
just as an experiment in economics, that would be fascinating. Plus, the content would be spectacular.
Oh my god. You could try it. I was so much into that moment of trying to find people at other tables to get them. Because when you look at a table, you see 10 people, you see like 6 people sitting on their hands, and you see one guy who's just like itching to go nuts. So all you got to do is make eye contact with that guy and just kind of do one of these, one of these, one of these. And now he's up. And now we're looking for more tables. And then before you know it, all the people with their hands on their asses, they're kind of up and at least making a little noise. And then, of course, once we were all blessed by Feldman's presence, that seemed to just set off a revival fever. As Will is our Messiah. Touch
Well,
the shroud.
Jesus was a Jew, so his letter to the Feldmans.
His letter to the Feldmans.
And a Corey shall lead them.
Yes. Dear Feldmans, more sequins.
No, I don't endorse Jesus juice.
No. Could you be a little creepier?
Oh, don't make that bet.
Oh, no. Yeah. He's old enough to make that awkward for everybody.
Yeah, he's not that much younger than us.
Little girl. Okay, we're all going to jail tonight.
Okay, I'm switching gears. I saw that our buddy James Lee Burke has a new book coming out soon. Or his next book. It may not be soon, but his next book in the Robichauxverse is entitled Cleat.
A whole book on Cleat.
Yeah, and I'm torn, man. Gonna go full tilt boogie on us. I'm of mixed emotions about that. What do you think?
Fun, but Cleat's, Cleat's of a time. It's like, okay, we're gonna watch this, like, drug-addled 70-year-old man with PTSD, shaking up people.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Well, I mean, and the way he's written some of the books, he can even do it earlier. I mean, he can place it wherever he wants to in the timeline. I don't know
that
enough
would be
about
fun.
the book.
You'd have to place that as a young Cleat, just
just out of
plans just coming out,
or just when he comes back from his exile in Central America, when he's just completely wired and nuts.
Oh,
that would work.
Yeah,
but is that too much Cleat? That's my thing. That's like a Hawk book.
Which is 60 pages of white jokes and and no other dialogue.
And will it be Cleat's inner monologue? Because I'm not sure I want to know what that is.
Going back to the Hawk inner monologue, it'd just be honky, 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 Spencer, honky, honky,
honky, honky, Henry, honky, honky, honky,
honky, honky, honky. A Cleat's inner dialogue, yeah, that could be.
All I could smell was the burning Mama San in the huts in the DMZ as the bouncing Bettys ripped through my flesh. I mean, will he be able to differentiate between a Cleat inner monologue and a Dave inner monologue?
Probably not, except that there would be no mention of the Breen breeding out on the lake.
Or the boys in Butternut.
The boys in Butternut and the Breen and the smoke and the bougainvilleas and
the rigs rain going down and the
everybody have a Dr. Nut.
All right, I just wanted to mention that. I didn't know if you'd seen it. I will definitely read that when it comes out, just out of curiosity, if nothing else.
I think it's the torrid affair between him and Helen.
Oh, my mind's eye. Count it out. I don't know. I always envision Helen like that deputy sheriff that used to come into Arby's when we were teenagers. So I always envision Helen. I don't know.
More gun than woman.
Yeah.
The woman is all gun belt.
Starts here,
Starts here, goes down right below, right
right at the
above.
top of her boots.
That's right. She's just all one big belt.
Oh, so you're about to be an empty nester, right?
Hmm.
When's that happening?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
And how far of a drive is that for you?
2 hours.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Not too bad. No, I took the day off of work, uh, and then everything else happened. So yeah,
Dorm move in.
Dorm move in tomorrow afternoon.
You have assigned times.
Yeah, it's not that free for all like when I went to school. It's just a crush. Everybody showed up at 10, and it's just madhouse.
Yeah, the boys had like tiered, timed out move-ins.
Mhm.
And when we moved Jack into his dorm room, we got fortunate because his was on the first floor and we had an early time. So
Nice.
we got
So
the giant cart, rolled it in, dumped it out.
done.
Uh,
Yeah. So we'll be done with all that. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I think Kristen's too busy getting everything packed, and so it'll probably be Thursday that she's just like, "Babe is gone." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's time to go Bradshaw, baby. Let's take them off." Oh shoot! Did I hit the button? I don't hear you. Oh man. Ah. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? I've got nothing coming from you. Nope. Nothing. Oh, okay. And now you're dropped. Ah, wait a minute. What's going on? Now you're back. No, I'm dropped. Oh, we're just doing the layouts. Wait a minute. I got nothing. Let me try. Anything? No sound. Nope. I see your lips moving, but I got no sound. Ah, nope. Oh, okay. I can't even